Rocky Horror Picture Show: The Good, the Bad, and the Problematic. I'm gonna be going over some notes here. This is the first real long form video I've done where I really need to my notes so that I don't miss anything. Not fully this isn't fully scripted. Just bullet points so that I don't miss anything. First, let me say Rocky Horror Picture Show is an amazing movie. It's a cult classic. Great, neat message about sexual liberation, about confronting those things that make you uncomfortable. No, and about being who you are on the inside unapologetically. But a lot of the problems with the movie, they aren't just problems with the movie, aren't just like bad things that the bad characters do. Because I have no problem. I'm not a fan of whitewashing. I think hard topics should be in shows, even comedic ones, and then even lighthearted ones. Bad guys should do bad things. Frankenfurter's definitely not supposed to be a good guy, even though like he may be liberated, but he's not good by any stretch of the imagination. He's the villain. But the issue with Rocky Horror Picture Show is that a lot of the bad sentiments in the movie actually undermine the good message of the movie itself. So that's what I want to talk about. I'm gonna go scene by scene, song by song, and yeah, let me know what you think. What you think of Rocky Horror Picture Show? What spoke to you? What didn't? And but yeah, let's get started. First, you have the beginning. Of course, there's just science fiction double feature. It's campy. It's fun. There's really not much to say there. It's an homage to the type of campy films that they're paying homage to. There's no real problems there. They're moving on to Damn It, Janet. Catchy, it's fun, but it's sexist. It frames Janet's value as marriage. She was plain old Betty Monroe, and now she's Mrs. something Crab Shack or whatever. It really underlines the innocence of Brad and Janet. But yeah, I mean, in the sexist undertone, I think is the core problem there. Not really a problem otherwise. And then you move on to There's a Light. I don't think there's any problems here. I think it's a sweet song. Then we move into Time Warp. Iconic, joyful, queer anthem, awesome. Symbol of living freely. But Brad and Jen are being forced into it, and they clearly don't want to be there. They just want, a phone to be able to get out of there. So there is the issues of consent already start here. They're being forced into a situation they're uncomfortable with. And that moves us on to Sweet Transvestite, which speaks to he's just unapologetically like who he is. He's a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania, but he takes glee in how uncomfortable he's making Brad and Janet. At the end of the song, he says, I'll remove the cause, but not the symptom. Again, in more issues of consent boundaries is then we move on to I Can Make You a Man. It can't be fun, but it's full of toxic masculinity. Rocky's being objectified, it only valuable for his muscles, being the quote unquote perfect man. And he's Frank's toy. Yeah, Frank made himself a little toy, but it's a person. Rocky doesn't necessarily seem pleased with being a toy either. Like, he is a little uncomfortable. It's a weird dynamic. Then we go into Eddie's song, Whatever Happened to Saturday Night, Hop Tootie. Meatloaf's song, no, I mean, it's a great song, but, we see that Frankenfurter is just a sociopath, a psychopath. That he violently kills Eddie in front of everyone. And Brad and Janet are still forced to pretty much stay the night after witnessing a murder. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a campy comedy musical version of a horror thing, but obviously there's an issue there. But we move on to the bedroom scenes. Arguably the most problematic. I would say possibly the second most problematic part of the movie, where he manipulates Brad and Janet into thinking that he's their partner, and essentially he at best coerces them, and at worst forces himself on them, and outright assaults them. It's no matter what how you define it, it's ultimately assault, and definitely if not the worst part of the movie, the most problematic part of the movie. It's the second, and I'll get into what I think might be the most problematic part of the movie at the end. But we move on into Riff Raff and Magenta tormenting Rocky. Again, Rocky is treated like a thing. He's being abused. There's really nothing redeeming there. It's just a scene of him being abused. And then we go to Touch Me. This is sweet and honestly a highlight of the movie. It represents Janet's awakening sexually, and then she's asking for consent, like consent's being asked for, she's giving permission for Rocky to touch her. She wants him to. He wants to. It's actually a really sweet scene, in a liberating scene, a liberating moment for Janet's character. I think it's actually probably one of the strongest moments in the movie. Then we move on to Eddie's Teddy. Now, there's like the implied cannibalism at the end, and the tension, and where Dr. Scott is talking about Eddie, his nephew, who everyone else at the table already knows is dead. But there is one gem inside this song, and it's actually one of the lines that I've personally loved and held on to as one of my personal mottos. It was for most of my life, which is stay sane inside insanity. Let the a the crazy the things the rest of the world considers crazy, things be what they are, or you can revel in what the rest of the world considers crazy. But you have to stay controlled within that. So, hey, listen to me. Stay sane inside insanity. I love that line. Then we move on to the floor show. Of course, you have the fact that they're being hypnotized and don't really have full free will at this point. So, again, problematic, consent. But here's where we really get into some of the real beauty of the movie. Don't dream it, be it. Each character kind of talks about how they've been changed, they've been liberated. Yeah, it's a powerful scene. Then you have Frank's "I'm going home," kind of touchy. Then this is the part that I think is actually the most problematic part of the movie. Riff Raff comes in to kill Frankenfurter. And in that scene, he says, "Your lifestyle's too extreme." And of course he kills Eddie, so I mean, that's too extreme. But the issue with his lifestyle isn't that it's too extreme, it's that it lacked consent. And the implication that that somehow the sexually liberated message of the movie was undercut, that it was too extreme. The issue is that it lacked consent, and not that things were too extreme. Yeah, so that's one line that I think really undermines the message of the movie. And then you have like the sweetness of Rocky trying to protect Frankenfurter, or even though he may have mixed feelings about him, it's his creator, he tries to protect him. So that's kind of sweet. And then we move on to superheroes. Superheroes is it's sweet. It's a nice a song about how a haunting reflection of how they've changed. So ultimately, like I said, it's a cult classic. I don't think the bad things take away from the underlying message, and the audience participation and culture that have come up around it. It's become a doorway for many people into a wider world of sexual expression. Wearing lingerie not just in the bedroom, but because it makes you feel sexy. And yeah, guys can wear lingerie too. We can look sexy too. I mean, I'm non-binary, but don't let the bad take away from the good. And recognize that Frankenfurter is supposed to be a bad character. But I think it's important to look at how the message edge of the movie can be undermined by some of those negative stereotypes and negative actions. Um, Again, then please comment, share, or your experience. It's. I would also say that I think everyone should watch this movie at least once, whether you're queer, straight, it's something that I think everyone should see. Something I think everyone should be exposed to. I do think if you're under the age of 18, you should watch it with a parent, and especially one who's willing to, have those difficult conversations about the problematic parts. And I don't think it should be watched by anyone under the age of 13. Definitely not. But yeah, that's my breakdown of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Still one of my favorite movies of all time. And a very important part of my sexual awakening, and especially sexual expressiveness. My willingness to put myself out there in public. So, don't dream it, be it. Stay sane inside insanity. And be proud, be queer, and be geeky.